Hey guys, what's up, how's it going? My name is Rob and welcome back for the monthly stock portfolio update on the channel. This is a video where every single day, once per month, I like to do a very thorough investment update on my portfolio of all my different portfolios, give you guys my goals, show you guys how my stocks are doing. I'll show you guys the individual holdings. I'll show you guys all the stocks within the different accounts. I'll show you guys the earnings, and I'll talk about what I've kind of done this month. I'll show you guys the stocks I bought, and I'll talk about my plans for the future. So it's going to be a long video like usual, but it's going to be a more thorough update, and I'll give you guys a more bigger view and overall view of my portfolio and my goals as a Canadian investor. And just really quickly before we jump inside the portfolios, if you guys do enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up and remember to subscribe if you guys want to be notified of when I do these videos. And if you guys want to sign up to Wealthsimple Trade and take advantage of my referral link, I'll put the code in the description of the video if you guys want to support the channel. So the first thing we'll do here is to give you guys an update like usual with the stock portfolios. We'll go over the different accounts really quickly, and then we'll dive in and I'll show you guys the stocks, show you guys the earnings, and give you guys more of a more in-depth look at the stocks and what I've been doing for the month. So just a quick little recap, like usual, we have the full portfolio value here. A lot has happened over the past couple days, the past couple weeks, which I'll talk about here. But we have a total value of about $103,000 inside all my accounts on Wealthsimple Trade. Split across 3 different accounts. First one being the personal account, which is our Canadian dividend-based portfolio with a little bit of US growth stocks, our Rrsp, which is our growth-based portfolio, and then our TFSA. And I'm going to kind of dive inside these accounts individually as we go throughout the video. But just a quick little recap, we'll do an update on the TFSA since it is the bigger account and it kind of holds a little bit of everything inside of it. Over the past day, the TFSA is down -2%, so a little bit of a dip recently over the past day. Over the past week, we're down once again -2%, sitting at -$2,000. So quite a big dip here happening in, it looks like the 25th, we had a bit of a dip and we've kind of been going downwards. But we did have a pretty good month overall, so this is kind of expected. We'll go over the past month, we're up 0%, a little bit over 0% since it is $290 in the positive. And over the past 3 months, we're still up 2%, which is $2,000. Over the past year, we're up 10%, and then all time inside the portfolio, it's about 11%. So if you look at the past year, we had a 10% gain overall. Once again, we did make some big deposits, some big changes throughout the portfolio, so that percentage isn't 100% accurate because it gets screwed up when you make big deposits and different things like that. But you know, we might see a dip going towards the end of the year. I don't know. Regardless of whether that happens, we've still had a pretty good year and the portfolio is still performing quite well. So just want to give you guys a quick little update. But if we kind of compare the month of November, it's been a kind of iffy month, you know, like good month, good to start off the month. And then the past couple days have been a bit of a dip. So pretty much neutral month at the end of the day, if you look at it like that. And another thing I like to do is I like to track the portfolios on Track Your Dividends. It's a free portfolio tracker. It's one of the better ones for Canadian stocks. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good ones for Canadian stocks. I'm still kind of been looking for a few. So once again, like usual, if you guys know any good dividend trackers that are good for Canadian stocks, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. But here's the basic portfolio. I basically put them all together here, and this gives us some stats that kind of adds all the portfolios together. So it's kind of neat like that. We have an overall dividend yield of 2.33%, and inside, if we take all of our accounts and combine them together, which is kind of on the lower side. But once again, like I mentioned in a lot of my videos, we're focused on dividend growth, stock appreciation, and getting, you know, kind of growing those things over time. So we don't have a huge dividend yield right now, but it will grow over time, and we want to take advantage of dividend yield plus growth. Those are the two things. Our yield of cost is 2.5%, so a little bit of an increase since we first started this portfolio, which was originally started in the beginning of 2020. Our annual dividend income is $2,401. So that's how much we make in terms of dividends inside the portfolio. And we can look inside each individual one as well. So if we go inside the 100% growth portfolio, we can also take a peek and see at the different dividend yields and whatnot. The growth portfolio doesn't have a dividend yield yet since it is focusing on growth stocks. It will obviously have a dividend yield over time. The personal account here, which is more of our Canadian dividend-based portfolio, actually has a dividend yield of about 3.23% and a little bit of an increase on cost. So it's cool how you can sort it by the different portfolios here. Once again, we can see the TFSA, which is our bigger account. We can see different yields and whatnot. So just want to give you guys a quick little update on that. But if we look at the overall dividend yield inside the entire portfolio, it's sitting up at that 2.33%. And the other cool thing about this website is we can also kind of sort our portfolio and give you guys a quick little update on the allocations or the diversification, if you want to call it that, inside the portfolios. So once again, all three portfolios combined together. They're not big portfolios, even though they have pretty good earnings. I'm a big fan of kind of keeping things simple. Most of my diversification comes from the ETFs, and ETFs are my main way of investing. I think they're perfect for beginners and even people who just want to keep things simple like myself. And you guys can see I've gotten pretty good results just from mostly investing into ETFs. Our total holdings are 14 holdings in total. Our largest ETF is the VFE Vanguard S&P 500. Most of this coming inside the TFSA, so that's why it's the biggest holding, because I want to kind of keep the bulk of my TFSA and US growth stocks. And then I'm kind of moving my Canadian stocks more to the personal account, although I do hold some in my TFSA as well. Our smallest stock is going to be Shopify. That's in our Rrsp. We own about $100, whatever it was in there. It's my only our first growth stock that we bought. I'm looking to kind of grow that and build that over time. Our total sectors are 8, and our largest sectors are ETFs. So this basically says that 81% of our portfolio is in ETFs. I kind of go for 80% give or take, and then you have 20% in individual stocks that I buy. And you guys can see some other things here. Here's our graph as a representation. We own 30% in VDY, which is our Canadian-based ETF, dividend-based ETF. Once again, that 51% in VFE, and then we have TD at 4%. We have RioCan at 4%. We have Alimentation Couche-Tard at 1.9%, I guess 2%. Manulife, and then some other stocks here, which we will cover, and I'll show you guys how those stocks have been performing inside my portfolio as we go through this video. So if we go back inside Wealthsimple Trade, I'll give you guys a quick little update on the individual stocks I hold inside my portfolio. And as you guys know, I'm all about transparency on this channel. I like to show you guys everything I'm doing and to kind of give you guys the play-by-play on how I've invested my money and how it's been growing over time. I think that's an important part of things that people don't show. They don't show that every day and the day in, day out, you know, the weekly, the monthly, whatever kind of results you're kind of looking for, that you can follow alongside with. And kind of as you're going, or you can kind of look back at it and you're like, you know what, I don't know if investing is for me, but you can watch somebody who does this and be like, you know what, I kind of see what's going on here, I understand it, you know, get some confidence, get some clarity on how things work and whatnot. Because when it comes to investing, there's a lot of ups and downs, but really it's all about patience and investing into good quality stocks. If you can do that, you're going to do well as an investor. So here's the individual stocks that we hold inside our portfolio. This is the TFSA, the biggest account here, like I mentioned. I'll just go over these really quickly, and then we'll go through the other two accounts, and you guys can see. Once again, really quickly, we bought these stocks at different points in time. I'll try to remember if I can when we start investing in them. And keep in mind, there are different values for the stocks too. So it might look like some stocks have outperformed others, but once again, a lot of it matters on how long you've held the stock, when you bought in, and different things like that. So Algonquin Power and Utilities is my poorest performing stock. However, we bought a lot of this stock just before it dipped. So that negative 16%, you might look at it and be like, well, it looks like a crappy stock. Not necessarily. It just depends on when you bought and kind of how it's done inside your portfolio. So once again, we bought a lot of AQN towards 2020 and maybe the beginning of 2021, and then they had a rough year kind of towards the mid to the end of 2021. So, you know, maybe next year, a year after that, we probably will see that recovery from AQN. ATD we bought kind of once again towards the end of this year when it was doing really well inside of our TFSA. So we've seen a little bit of a dip, but this is a really good stock. And I am going to talk about dividend growth increases towards the end of the video. A lot of companies announced some dividends increases, which I think is important to cover for the month of November. So there's some pretty cool dividend increases we'll talk about later on. We have CNR. We own a couple shares of CNR. This is one I do want to build over time. It's up 15%, so lots of growth in CNR. Fortis is one of our stable energy stocks, up 4%. Haven't done too much with Fortis, but it is a long-term play inside my portfolio. Manulife has kind of had an interesting run. We've seen Manulife do really, really well at the start, recover from the pandemic, and then it kind of dipped back down. This was kind of expected because it did shoot up quite a bit, but it's kind of an interesting stock. And this is one I'm going to kind of take a peek at, and I will always hold it inside my portfolio, but I might have to kind of adjust things a little bit, kind of looking forward inside the stock. But once again, keep in mind, we do buy these stocks on a regular basis, so that does push down the earnings. If you guys want a more accurate picture of how these stocks have performed, what you can do inside Wealthsimple Trade is you could click on like ATD.B here. You could go down and look at the 1 year return, and you can be like, okay, so overall, the 1 year return of the stock is 7%, which is not bad. And then you can go over the 5 years and be like, okay, well, the 5 year return is 44%. That will give you a more accurate reading on the stock growth and not how it's done inside my portfolio. So keep that in mind. And you can apply this to other people's channels too. If you see somebody Maybe they got lucky and they bought a stock just before, you know, it went up. It's going to look better in their portfolio. So always check that just to make sure, right? You want to make sure you're actually looking at like the actual legit facts, right? We have Ryokan here, about 6% gain, doing pretty well. It's our REITs, our REIT exposure inside the portfolio, and I will talk about Ryokan when I talk about the buys and different things I've done inside the portfolio for the month. We have RNW, which is an old stock we had, up 8%, doing okay. Severia Corp, one of our more growth-based dividend stocks, is doing pretty good, up 17%. TELUS at 8%, once again, pretty stable stock. I do like TELUS. I will be adding more shares as time goes on. And then we have more of my bigger stocks, like TD has done absolutely crazy inside my portfolio, up 30%. So it's done pretty well for me. We bought lots during the pandemic in 2020 when it dipped a lot. I focused a lot on TD. Once again, it's up 30% in my portfolio. If you go over the past year return, we can see it's actually up 33%. So once again, it's done really well for us. VDY is up 7.65%, and then VFE is up 8%. We buy these on a regular basis, so because I'm buying pretty good chunks of money on a regular basis, it pushes the overall return down. But once again, if we clicked on VDY and we looked at the 1 year return, you can see it's up 25%. So even though it says 6% return in my portfolio, it's actually up 26% over the past year. It's just because I average in every single other day, you know, multiple times throughout the week with large chunks of cash. It pushes my overall return down. But once again, you can see that 26% return gives you a more accurate reading on how well the stock has done. You can do the same with VFE, sorry, not VIV. 1 year return is 24%. So yeah, it's important to kind of take a peek at that. So that's the TFSA. I'll cover the Rrsp. We only have one stock right now, $161. Shopify. It is up 7.54%, so it's been doing pretty good for us. But this is a long-term retirement hold. We're going to be focusing on growth stocks and more long-term holdings. And it's going to not be something I'm going to go super crazy with because I'm a big fan of more focusing on the TFSA, maxing that out, using more income now. I'm pretty young. I want to use that money before I turn 65. Nonetheless, it's still important to build a retirement account over time, so I do have that on my agenda as well. But it'll be something we're slowly kind of doing, right? I'm not in a big rush to max out my retirement account and then not be able to access it to if I even make it to the age of 65. So I do plan on making it to the age of 65, but once again, I want to enjoy that money as time goes on. So just something to take note. And inside the personal account, we have pretty much more or less the same thing as the TFSA, just the account is a little bit newer. So once again, AQN, ATD, and you can see the differences in the percentage gains depending on when you buy into the market, right? This one was more recent, so the recent dips, this one kind of got hit a little bit more harder. The only stock we hold in here that we don't hold in the other ones is Power Corporation of Canada, which is down a little bit. That's one of the newer stocks I've been buying, but I will be adding some new stocks in here going towards the new year, probably more or less Canadian stocks, since they're the easiest to buy on Wealthsimple Trade. And I hold most of my American stocks in VFE. So that's a quick little portfolio update in terms of my individual stocks inside my portfolio. So one of the things I wanted to discuss really quickly and talk more about on this channel, and you guys should kind of take it, be aware of when you're investing into stocks, especially if you're kind of like a dividend growth investor, is to focus on dividend increases that happen. And a cool website here is dividendhistory.org. You can track dividend increases for individual websites, and it's super cool because it's super it actually shows the updates here. So you can see all these updates, a lot of big updates towards the end of the year for dividend increases. We can go all the way from the beginning of November. So we can just take a quick peek and look at some of the stocks inside of a portfolio. So if there's any ones in here, we can see Canadian Tire. We don't hold Canadian Tire. Power Corporation, I just talked about that stock. 10% increase and on the 15th of November. So this company increased their dividend by 10%. So we are going to now, whatever we're getting in terms of dividends will increase by 10%. Pretty solid. 10% increase is pretty good. And we can also see ATD.B, which is allocation Couche-Tard. Oh my God, I can't talk today. Raised their dividend by 25%. This is an amazing company. They have a super low dividend payout, a super low payout ratio, so they can aggressively grow their dividend. I've talked about this lots in the past, that this is a company I think is going to be really good. And you can click on the company. You can see the recent dividend increases. So 2016, increase of 16%, 2018, 11%, 2019, 25%, 2020, 21%, and then 25%. So you can just see This company doing absolutely crazy. Their yield is obviously low, but that's aggressively growing. And you can see the earning ratio and the payout ratio and different stuff here. So, and here's the actual payments here on a graph. So it's a cool little website you guys can check out. So I guess 2 stocks that we've seen increase their dividends for this month. There might be some other ones that weren't recorded in there, so you can double check them. You can look them up if you want. But those are the big ones that I've seen. So getting some nice dividend increases. So imagine getting a 25% raise for your dividends just like that, doing nothing. So you can see how dividend growth investing really is the key to passive income and why I'm such a big fan of it. So obviously that'll compound and grow over time. One thing I wanted to start doing is also showing you guys the different stocks I'm buying on a regular basis. So more or less, I like to keep things simple and focusing on ETFs. So here's the month of November. If we scroll all the way down to November 1st, which is just the bottom here, you can see I've been focusing mostly on my ETFs. The main individual stocks I've been buying are TD in ATD.B, mostly with lots of VFE buys, a lot of VDY, lots of TD, bought a little bit of TELUS. So once again, focusing on ETFs and buying some individual stocks. I've actually bought a lot of TD this month, as you guys can see. Been stocking up on TD. Right around here, I did sell my H&R REIT. If you guys watched my previous video, I sold that to buy into RioCan. So I kind of put that into there. So now I just hold the one REIT. And the main reason why I did that was just to kind of clean up the account and just focus on a little bit less on REITs and have it just in one stock, which is RioCan. So that was the big change I did inside my portfolio. But other than that, just buying a lot of VDY, VFB, and TD, which probably comes as no surprise for most of you guys who watch my channel. So that's pretty much what I've been buying for the month of November. And last but not least, we'll talk about the dividend income really quickly, since everybody likes to see how much passive income the portfolio is generating. If we go over to the spreadsheet here, we can see for November, we have a total of $126. We might get a few little trickle dividends over the next couple of days. I'm not too sure, but I think that's the bulk of the dividends for this month. So $126 for the month of November. December and January will probably be bigger months because that's when the quarterly dividend stocks start paying off, especially our big ETFs. But pretty good month overall for dividends, $126 in income for November. And if you guys want to see the total dividends of the portfolio since we first started investing since the beginning of 2020, it's $1,434. So it's definitely growing on a regular basis and doing quite well. So that's a quick little update on the dividend income. As you guys can see, it's just been consistently growing on a regular basis, and it's been pretty cool. So, and we almost reached 2 years of investing. It's month 23. November for 2021 at the time of doing this video is month number 23. So at the end of December, we'll finally hit that 2-year mark for the portfolio. So I haven't done that much for this month in terms of giving you guys updates on how I'm living off my dividends. This was kind of like a case study that I did way back in the beginning where I was trying to kind of get in the habit of living off dividends, living a frugal life. And I didn't do that much for this month, mostly because I took a little bit of time off. The only thing I really talked about was that I used some of my dividend income. Again, guys, I'm kind of pretending to use our dividend income to buy an N64, and I bought Super Mario. So I've been playing that recently, and that's been a lot of fun. So that was the big thing I purchased for this month. Going into next month, it's going to be December. So there's definitely some things I want to take a peek at, and I kind of want to follow alongside with you guys and give you guys more updates on when I do buy things. And I want to kind of be more thorough and kind of follow this case study, doing them more and sharing more, guys, with you in terms of how I'm saving money, how I'm kind of managing my finances, my income, and different things like that, and give you guys more of a sneak peek and view into my life and whatnot. That's some bigger plans I do have for the new year, and that's kind of the direction I more want to take the YouTube channel going into the new year. So I got some big plans with that. But in regards to that, not too much going on there. My new plans for the future going into the December is going to be same as usual, guys, just buying stocks. I do understand it's the holiday season, so I'm probably going to be taking some time off towards the end of December, and then going towards the start of the new year, I'm going to try to buckle down and get back into doing the YouTube channel and posting more content, because I had a nice little break. It's been really nice to take some time off. It's been nice to kind of have a little bit more of a break, and I'm kind of feeling a lot better. And it's going to be cool to take some holidays off for the Christmas, see the family and whatnot, and then go back and get kind of crazy with the new year. You know, since everybody's kind of getting into that personal finance mode, they're kind of like trying to save some money, trying to break some bad habits and whatnot. So I think, yeah, kind of getting the new year off to a good start is definitely going to be really good for the channel and to help some of those new people who kind of come into the investing scene around that time. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them when I can, but just try to leave a comment if you want, and I'll try to get back to you guys. But other than that, guys, take care. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have yourself a good day, and I'll see you guys later.